In this lecture I will answer you a very common question that everyone get. Which is what is the best hacking operating system? Is it Kali Linux? Is it Parrot OS? And what about Windows and macOS X? So first of all, let's simplify the situation. Forget about the Windows and macOS. Don't get me wrong, they are really good operating system for daily use and for other uses. But when it comes to hacking, they are not just good because a lot of the hacking tools are simply not designed to work on them. While you can get them if you try to, but they will still be buggy, and in many cases it will very difficult to get them into work. Now, I know what you will think. But sir, you use Windows and that's correct. I use it for my daily use. But I use hacking operating system when I want to hack. And I also use several different operating system for different uses. For example, I would use Tails or Qubes while I am accessing the dark web. You can do this by having different computers, or you can actually install this operating systems as virtual machines. So I have normal operating system, a hacking operating system and several operating system. All installed as a virtual machines inside my computer that I use for daily use. You can also have them installed in your devices as a virtual machines. And use them, that's not a problem. And then use each one of them for different purpose. Or for the purpose that they are made for. So now that we have Windows and OS X out of the way, we are left with Linux. So the question now is, which is the best Linux hacking distribution? Now if you know anything about Linux, you know that there are so many different Linux distribution. There are many distribution, there are ones for general use. There are ones for design. There are different distros used for hacking. And as you know, the most popular operating system is Kali Linux and Parrot OS. And to answer the question which is best, we need to understand how this Linux distros are built. Here is the chart of Linux operating system. Here you can understand better. We have a lot of distributions, but for hacking we use mostly 3. They are Debian, Red Hat, and Arch. In each distribution there are many operating systems. As you can see. But rather than this all mess, we know the most popular operating system used for hacking, they are Kali Linux and Parrot OS. Now first of all, let me clarify that I've already practiced both Parrot OS and Kali Linux operating systems for my work and pen testing work. And I can say that Linux has a varied selection of patterns that are accessible in the industry. Whereas, the most well-known pattern employed by most of the security experts and penetration testers is Kali Linux. While the Parrot Security OS is considerably cloud-friendly and it's compassed of ethical hacking, pen testing, and other computer criminological work. Thus, comparing to other Linux distributions, Parrot OS is pretty lightweight Linux. Therefore, Kali has moved through several emphases in the pattern of updates, while different penetration testing cybersecurity-related organizations were also being exhibited throughout the world. We can state that both operating systems are intended for similar purposes, like cybersecurity and penetration testing. Hence, most of the determinants in such cases boil down to a topic of individual taste, rather than an accurate comparison. Now, the hardware specification is something which we overlook most of the time, essentially because we understand that our systems are much more influential than the least hardware specifications computers. Hence, Parrot needs lower specification hardware when compared to Kali, indicating that it can be operated on low-powered laptops and computers. Thus this is one of the reasons why I favor Parrot OS over Kali Linux, but I like and apply both of them. As I stated, it's never about which operating system or tool you are utilizing, it all depends on your skills. When we speak about the performance, Kali is a bit laggy, and when you manage it on a low-end system, sometimes it's a horror experience when you have a brute force making going on in the background and you making something else. But Parrot is very lightweight and doesn't lag much, as it runs on low specification systems as well. At last I will say you that picking an operating system depends on your taste and choice. If you have a low specification system, then we would hugely recommend you to go with Parrot OS. But in this course I am going to use Kali Linux. And the commands used in both are same.